Hi, I'm Debbie. Today we're going to make one of our glass tile pendants, the rectangle one, like this one here that we've got on a silver choker. To do this project is we need some scissors, some diamond glaze, our glass tile, a bail to glue on afterwards, and a snake chain or choker to wear with it, some sandpaper just to smooth off the edges, and an image to place on our glass tile. We're going to use this image in the middle here today. So let's make a start. We'll just clear our tray here of everything that we need for this. Now you'll find on your glass tile that it has a smooth side and a rougher side. And the rougher side is the one that you want to place against your image, like that. So we need to take our diamond glaze and put some droplets of that onto our image, and then we're going to position this carefully on top of it. Try not to get bubbles in there if possible. Unfortunately, bubbles are just one of those things that will inevitably come. So try to eliminate them if you can by not shaking the bottle. So take the glass tile now, and what we do is we just simply move that around, trying to sort of disperse any of those bubbles, and just gently wiggle it around on there until you find the right position, and give it a really good push, hopefully squeezing out all of those bubbles. And where you find that you want that image to rest, just give it a good gentle push on there. And once you've done that, just leave it alone, because it is starting the bonding process, and it's best to leave it for a good few hours. Generally I leave these overnight to make sure that the diamond glaze sets nicely on there before we cut around the image. Notice that I have placed it without cutting the image to shape first. It's a lot easier to do it this way. So the next thing we'll be doing once this is set is cutting around the image and then placing our glaze on the back. So we're now on to the second step. Our tile is here on our image, and we've left it for about 2 hours. The glue is sufficiently dry to enable us to now cut around the edge. So we'll get our scissors. The best thing to do first of all is just to cut off those other images there, so that we can use those at a later date, them aside. And then with your scissors you can just trim fairly close right around each edge, without not worrying too much about how tidy that is, because we can tidy that all off as we go. So now on our edges, what we do is we just slightly angle our scissors so that we cut right in to that very edge. You may get a little bit of diamond glaze residue there, but that's fine, it's easy to clean off afterwards. So just simply cut right into there and trim it off nicely. So there we have our piece, and it's a little bit rough around the edges there. We need to just give it a little bit of a sand so that our paper is not sticking out at all from the back there. So we've got a little piece of sandpaper here, and what we do is we put the sandpaper flat on the table, and we then take our piece and simply scrape it across the sandpaper like that, just to give that a nice smooth edge. That's one side done, and we'll do the other side. You only need to do that a few times, just to bring that paper back. That looks really good. So now there's no paper sticking out that's going to get caught on your fingers later on. Okay, so now it's time to put our diamond glaze across the back of our pendant, so that this creates a protective layer. Otherwise, if we left the paper there, it would be exposed to your skin, and eventually it would go quite yellow, and it would get dirty and fall off. So the glaze helps to protect that and keep it waterproof. So we take the lid off our little pot, our little bottle of diamond glaze. You can also use larger bottles of diamond glaze for this, which we supply on our website. So what we do with the diamond glaze is we want to run right round the edge of our piece first of all, and get the diamond glaze to go right up to but not over the edge. And it's quite simple to do that with diamond glaze because it works by capillary action, where it will only go on the surface that you want it to go on, unless you actually physically coax it to go onto another surface. So we start off here in one corner and just squeezing the tube very lightly. We just keep running it along the edge there. Don't worry too much if it doesn't go right on the edge, we can sort that out very shortly. So keep going around, try not to stop if possible, and just simply run it around. Now if it hasn't quite gone right round to the edge, without squeezing the bottle, you can just carefully move it across, just being ever so careful that you don't allow it to go down the other side. Now that we have a nice frame in there, it's very simple to now just simply fill that up with diamond glaze. Fill up all those little empty spaces, and try not to put or to overfill that. We just want enough there to form a nice little doming effect over there. Now you'll see that we have got some bubbles here. There are ways to get rid of those bubbles. One way that you can do it is to breathe on it. Your warm breath helps to stop those bubbles. Or we could get something sharp. What I'm going to do is just take the edge of one of our cut pieces here and just try having a little tiny poke of those bubbles. A lot of them will actually disappear just completely on their own. Some of them are very frustrating, and all they do is move around in circles. But as it starts setting, those bubbles become slightly easier to get rid of. So now I have managed to pop all the bubbles in there, and it's really important that we now leave that to set for at least 24 hours. I like to leave mine for 48 hours to make sure that that resin has completely domed over that piece and is set so hard that you don't make any marks with your fingerprints or fingernails when you're working with it and putting your bail on. So the next step is after that 24-hour period, where we will take our diamond glaze again and our bail, and we'll pop that on and our piece will be finished.